share a little bit of, how we start as the VPE to really make a big contribution to our clubs. Please, can you let me know, Granny B, do you see my screen?
Yes, you can just click play. That's it. It's on play. You can go for it.
So just a reminder that when we're in a virtual environment, maximize your presence. We really ask you just for this next 45 minutes to switch off your phones and your email notifications and be fully present for us. Because in being fully present here, you're not only servicing or helping yourself to grow, but you're also helping the rest of the people in the room, because then you'll be able to ask pertinent questions at the end so that we can all learn in this wonderful environment that we have. It is your responsibility to ask for what you need. Granny B is monitoring the chat. So as questions come up for you while we're busy with the presentation, please feel free to type them into the chat, and either Granny B will answer them directly by typing in an answer, or alternatively, if she thinks it's urgent enough or important enough, she will interrupt me and we can actually deal with it as a group. Please, let's keep, if you are asking questions, let's just keep your questions simple and to the point. We only have a very short amount of time, so if you can be articulate in what you need and in asking those questions, it will really help us to be able to maximize our time together. And then I please ask all of you put yourselves on mute unless you have been asked to come on camera and on mic to be able to ask your question. So in achieving success as the Vice President Education, one of the measures that will be required from you is to look at your part of the Distinguished Club program. But even before we get there, we want to ensure that we really understand that the mission of a club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. This is where the hashtag every member matters is important, because this is what we're driving towards, is to make sure that the club meets its mission as well as the members meeting their goals. And if you remember in the previous time we were together, I did say to you that if you don't know where you're going, then any road is going to get you there. And if your members don't know where they're going, then where are you going to get your members and your clubs to at the end of the Toastmasters year? It starts with personal development with you. We looked already at club insights and the member insights that we need to start driving in order to be able to get our guys where they want to be. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time around the action plans, the next piece. And in future sessions, we'll talk about making meetings fun, and we'll talk about reward and recognition. But really, this entire infographic is what's required from a VPE. Where we will focus today is really to talk about building a tactical club success plan that helps us to meet the Distinguished Club program. It has 10 goals that we need to be driving, and to help to look specifically at the 6 educational goals that we as the VPE are responsible for in this bigger picture. So what is the success plan? The Club Success Plan is really a planning document, and that's what it looks like. It is freely available on Toastmasters International, and Granny B's also got a website that has all of this useful information, and she'll share the link with us. As club officers, we create this Club Success Plan to help to focus both our members and our clubs on achieving those 10 goals that we need to be driving, and particularly around this, what's called the Distinguished Club Program, which are those 10 goals. So how do you get to look at where your club is from a goal point of view, and how do you ensure that you can keep tracking that? Well, if you go on to toastmasters.org website, you could click on the Distinguished Club report, performance reports. If you go in that way, then If you're an experienced Toastmaster, it's going to be easy because you know what district you belong to, you know what division you belong to, and you probably know what area you belong to. But as a new VPE, possibly a little bit more of a challenge to get there. And then I recommend that you rather go to Club Central. And when you go into Club Central, there is an item on your dashboard that says Distinguished Performance Report. And when I click on that, it will come up and show me the 10 goals that we need to be driving. Now you will see on the status report that goals 1 to 6 are all educational awards that we need to drive. And in the first column, it says the goal is 4 level 1s. And this particular club got 3 at this point. And then 2 level 2 awards needs 2, and this particular club had 0, and so on down the list. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the next one. What's also important to understand about tracking these goals is that you need to understand what your membership base was before you can even think about your goals. This club is okay because this club has a base membership at the beginning of Toastmasters year of 25 people. And at the moment, they're sitting at 21. So they would still qualify for their goals if they achieved all of them. But if the base on this club had dropped below 20, so let's say this club had not renewed all of their members in the last membership drive, and the club was sitting at 15 as their base. Or let's make it lower, 12 people as their base membership was renewed. Even if they got all 10 goals, they would not be recognized in the Distinguished Club program because their membership is below 20. So you see it says required 20. And in this particular case, if the base was 12, then if they had a net growth of 5, so if they got their club to 17 at the end of June, they would get that because they had a net growth in membership of 5. This is a little bit confusing for people, so I'm going to just repeat that. The base membership of your club is important. If that is below 20, then the criteria is that you either need to grow your membership by 5. If that's still below 20, it will count. So if you were 12 and you added 5 and you got to 17, you would then get goals. You would be credited with the goals. If you got to 20 members, you would also be accredited with those goals. Now, if you have 5 goals, you are then determined to be distinguished, as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you got to 7 goals, you're then a little bit better off. You're a select distinguished. And if you got 9 goals or 10 goals, you would then have president's distinguished. So I'm going to go back. You can see that in this particular case, the goal that was achieved was a level 4 goal, which has got a big tick next to it. And they got members, and they trained all their officers, and they paid their dues, and they got their club officer list in time. So they got 5. This club struggled on educational goals, which there's no excuse around that, because if we did our job as a committee, we would plan from the beginning of the year how we get people to get through their educational goals. And I'm going to go back now. So a goal without a plan is just a wish. And as the education person, we are driving to try and get 4 people in our club complete a level 1. Generally, they're newer members or potentially members who've taken on their second pathway in our club. And in one Toastmasters year, given the number of assignments, you should be able to get most of your members through a level 1 and possibly even through a level 2 in a full 12-month period if you're meeting twice a month. But it takes some planning to do that. You might even get enthusiastic members through to level 3. In my club, what I've just completed as the VPE is I set up 2 one-hour sessions and offered those to my club as additional meetings, gave them the spreadsheet, talked them through what they needed to do in order to get to the next level in their particular pathway, and then made them start to think about what path they've got and what's their speech title in each of these things, because if you start to help them to already think about what they're going to speak on, it definitely gets them moving. This becomes their tracker then. They can put the speech titles, they can say who evaluated their speech, just in case at a later stage they need to go back and go, whoops, I forgot to get my evaluation form. Who evaluated me? Oh, look, that's who evaluated me. And then the plan is the date that I want them to complete this assignment, or they want to complete the assignment between now and the end of this next 6 months. I've asked all of my guys to please give us a plan up until the end of December. Which dates are they going to be speaking? And also in some cases, like for my more experienced Toastmasters, possibly they're not even going to deliver it at my club. They may go and deliver it at somebody else's club. And then I want to know which club are they going to deliver it. And then linked to last session, which is what Granny B ran for you, is that you then enter that into the spreadsheet that then says, Karen has said she's going to finish a level 1 and a level 2, and you insert it on that spreadsheet that Granny B is driving, and that helps you to be able to ensure that at your committee meetings, you talk about that, but you also include it in this club success plan that you then use as part of your EXCO meeting. Every meeting, you say, Karen said she was going to finish up to the end of level 2, but Karen hasn't spoken for the last 3 meetings, and she's missed 2 speeches that she should have delivered. How do we catch Karen up, or how do we motivate Karen to go and deliver those speeches, maybe at an alternative club? How do we keep people on track? And you'll see that this is all about planning. In our particular club, we drive this as a separate template, which is our club success plan. And we then have what is our 2-year strategic objective, so that it's not just this year we're driving. We're also setting up next year's committee or EXCO to be able to deliver. And we then, if we need 4 level 1s, and we're only putting 4 on my page, what if somebody has a life issue? What if they get transferred to another province and they leave my club? And now I'm depending on them as one of my 4 people. What if they get sick, or their work pressure becomes so heavy that they can't do it? What we want to ensure is to always go back to our members. And if we've got 20 members, we don't only want to be driving 4 of them to be achieving their achievements. We want to be driving everybody. So everybody, every member matters, because we're exceeding expectations to make sure that they all have their own personal individual goals. And then those are then tracked onto the spreadsheet. And every month, the EXCO speak about this and put a plan in place if people are starting to lag. And of course, that's linked back to Granny B's spreadsheet, which is then pulled across so that we can continue to drive this holistically. So ladies and gentlemen, holding this office is both a responsibility and a privilege. And you will see that this role, the biggest hashtag real life skills that you learn in this role is the planning and organizing aspect, as well as the influence and persuading, because we want to get people to be achieving their goals. And that's really what we wanted to speak to you about today around the DCP, which is the Distinguished Club Program, and how you as the VPE link that into the club success plan that all of our EXCO committees need to be completing now to make sure that your club is functioning in a way that you can meet your goals. I also just want to hand over to Granny B to talk about the pages in the plan that require you to also start to think about your club values and how that all links together. Granny B, I'll hand over to you to do that piece, and then maybe we can take some questions if it's okay.
Thank you so much, Karen, for what you've done so far. If you don't mind, just keep your eye on letting people into the room while I'm busy with that. That would be really great. Right, let me quickly just share with you that document. Now, what Karen has done so far has been to be able to prepare you for the filling in of this document. This is a document from Toastmasters International called the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan. That's what we're focusing on. That's what we would like to help you to get done as fast as possible. Now, in the beginning days, this is a document that when we as an EXCO came together, we kind of set aside a Saturday because it just took an entire Saturday to be able to get through this. Well, well, let me just tell you that subsequently, I have discovered Google Drive, and it has made a huge difference with the Google Forms. So here's how we handled it and got rid of an entire Saturday having to get together as a club, EXCO, to only making it a 3-hour meeting instead of literally, it was a whole day from 9 o'clock in the morning till about 6 o'clock in the evening. It was just absolutely crazy. So what did we do? Let's just quickly go through this without wasting much time. I'm going to be about 3 minutes maximum on this. This booklet starts off by just helping you understand the beginnings, the basics of Toastmasters, and then it takes you into what DCP is. So that is what Karen has done now. I'm not going to take you through that. After you've done that portion, it takes you into the portion of where you need to begin as a club. So you can see I'm busy paging there. And here is the there we go. So before I go further, it's the next page. Let me just quickly highlight this. Area director club visits. Remember, the area directors will be visiting your club, and getting this report ready is also something that we need to be able to give to them. And it's not just once we've made the report, okay, phew, it's out of our way, it's done. But as we've made this report in the planning, we then subsequently have to give them something to be able to say, that's what we planned, but this is the reality. That's what's happened up to now. So just to let you know that it's not just something that you're doing and it disappears in thin air. It has a purpose. So the club success plan effectively starts on page 16. Now, I want to just whoosh past here very fast because this is my one club's success plan, and it's not there for you to read all the things. But what I want to tell you is that this club success plan, the first 3 pages of questions that are there, was the part that just dragged us down because it just took so long. And then I discovered a really fast way is to create those questions onto a Google form. Then I gave the link to my club EXCO and I asked them to complete that. Now, when I talk that way, in one club, I'm acting as president and I'm VPE. So that's why that is the role of a president. And that's why I asked that you invite your presidents here as well. So if you are the president and then you are driving this club success plan, and in driving the club success plan, then you would give the club officers the link and ask them to complete it. Once they've done that, I've normally trained the secretaries to be able to compile from whatever is on the form and consolidate it and then copy and paste it into here. And then the club president goes through it and reads it and just neatens it up a bit so that it's representative of what the exco wanted. Now, for each exco member to go and complete the form, if they drag their feet and take a long time, it could be, say, a half an hour. However, by the time it gets to the meeting and you go through this part of the form, it just goes like that. So I'm going to quickly push past these 3 pages that are dealt with in the club, in my Google Forms. Then we reach this page, which is purely the page that you can now begin your meeting with your exco. And you just first put up the base, which is the base of that club. Where do we want to go to? What's the difference? What points, what goals do we want to achieve here? We want to achieve 10 out of 10. So that's the basics that you do. And as president, that's what you can do. Now we move over to us as VPEs, the portion that we have to bring. Mine is empty at the moment because what I've done is I've sent Karen the screenshot of how I sat on the Excel spreadsheet that I dealt with last week and gave you some training on that last week. And remember, if you missed a training, make sure you join the VPE group so that you have access to our resources Google Drive, where every training is in its own folder, named accordingly, and the resources for that training you will find in there as well. So today's training will have this booklet in clean without my club's information, and and Karen's PowerPoint presentation and any other resource we're talking about, including the link for the Google Drive if that's what you would like to use. So what would happen now is, because this next portion says education goals 1 through 6, this is now where you will take the planning sheet to be able to answer these questions. So the question says, what is the current status of club members in the education plan? Who is due to earn educational awards? And with that, you just, from the plan, you look at the plan and you can quickly type in there. How motivated are the members to progress through the education plan? That's the reason why the first training we did was sending out that member interest survey, because from that you can see, are they interested? Are they excited? Do they want to get finished? Then you can answer that. What obstacles keep members from completing projects? That's what you draw. You say, you understand why I haven't filled this in, because now it becomes a little bit personal. So now between the member interest survey forms and the group and your planning sheet, now you can begin to answer these questions one by one. So from that, I hope you gather and understand that the trainings we've planned in these VPE sessions are not just random trainings we've thrown out there for you, but they are happening in a sequence that the one is a foundation for the next layer that keeps building up. And that they are in order of what do you need to know now and to be able to move from there. So I'm going to stop at that. I think you get the plan. Let me just quickly finish. After you've done the portion for the VPE, because I think there's about 4 pages for the VPE. Then you go on to, so then if you are a president that's here, you would ask the VPE to complete that portion, and you can copy and paste it onto your document. And then you will ask your VPM to complete this portion. And as a group, you will get together again and finalize the last few. So I'm not going to show you that because I've done that with my group already. And then you can, as a group, you read to them the first 3 pages of what they've decided. You collect the VPE and the VPM's information and put that on your document. And then you discuss goal 9 and 10 with the with the executive and finalize this document planning. And of course, after that, I go on to how does it all fit together so that each person can understand how their role works. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. And I see that there's some activity in the chat box. Let's have a quick look if there are any questions. Karen, did you notice any questions that need our attention?
Granny B, I answered the question. So the one was, when will Toastmasters International start showing the new goals? And I posted that the goals will show towards the end of July, because at the moment we're really just finalizing our previous Toastmasters year. And what will happen is that new alignment that shifted, we brought Mauritius and Madagascar and Angola on board. Those will all start appearing now at the end of July. We had the other question that we had was, where can we get copies of the Excel spreadsheet? And I've said that exactly, you already answered that yourself, but I put it in here as well, that you will send out the link to your Google Drive.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions that anybody has at this point in time? You can just put your electronic hand up or switch on your camera and put your hand up, whatever works easy for you. Please make sure that you ask questions. And is it possible to redo?
Okay, so Melvin has his hand up, Granny B.
Yes, I'm just reading a question in the box. Melvin, I'll give you an opportunity now. It just says, Oscar says, is it possible to redo and resubmit the club success plan? We were in a push to submit it before we could get the survey out. You know, it is a workable document. So whatever has happened and transpired since, just get it up to date and ready, and then send it to them accordingly. Melvin, please share with us, what question do you have?
Thank you, Granny. Granny, this might be a question. I just got the link or the invitation for this meeting from the President Club WhatsApp group. So I joined, but I want to join the VPE group as well. How do I get that link to that WhatsApp group?
That is a good question. I will quickly go and copy that group's link, and I will paste it here so that you can join it easily from there, okay?
Thank you.
Sorry, Karen, just keep a lookout if there's somebody there while I'm quickly getting the invite link to do that, okay?
Okay, Gideon, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, mine is just short and sweet. Thank you. Goal number 10 says the club officer list must be loaded somewhere or put on international. Is there a due date for that?
Okay, so that half a point, although you don't get half a point, but it counts half of the final point, is usually managed by the previous year's exco. So by the middle to the end of June, the previous secretary needed to have uploaded the new committee or the new exco details onto the website, and it's under Club Central, which is where you would have done it. If it hasn't been done, then you, as the new team, go in and change your exco details on there. But unfortunately, you've missed the deadline for that. And you will be responsible to make sure that next year's team get that accreditation or get that credit. So please, your secretary must be properly trained through the club officer training, both now and in June and in January, February, because otherwise you're not setting your next team up for success.
Just second question. So the club success plan is not, there's no due date for that. It's a work in progress. Or is there a date by when it should actually be in?
Karen, are you answering, or would you like me to answer?
I'm happy for you to answer.
Right. You need to just find out from your area director, because each area director has given their due date according to how because they need to consolidate and upload the information, and they would have given you a due date when they want it by, because they need to report further. So number one, you need to just find out from your area director. And yes, number two, it is a continuation thing. So this is the initial upload. In other words, they want to make sure and see that you are doing the planning. And people, please understand this. This is a frustration. It's not easy, but listen, if you are serious about developing yourself, these are critical skills you develop on how to plan, how to see the big picture, how to strategically project the future. Remember, never look at anything you are doing as, oh, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get it done? Always look at how can you connect it to your personal life and what you need to develop and grow yourself. And grow yourself with that. Bongani, I see your hand was up first. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Kokohen and everyone else. Yes, I'm a club president, so I just want to get clarity. So unfortunately, the new community only came in officially, I think, the first week of July. So we're playing catch up now to know, and I'm aware that I think that the handover for the plan is probably end of July, as I understand. So, but I wanted to find out now to get to the members' information. We talked about the interest survey. So is there a template that is there that we can use quicker to get the information out of the members, or do we just formulate ourselves? Just want to clarify, because I definitely need to get information from the members, but I'm trying to fast track the information gathering so that by the end of July we present our plan. So just guidance on there, please.
Right. Okay, Bongani, I have posted the group invite link for the VPEs. You are welcome to just click on that and just join the VPE, and you do not need to stay in the group all the time. But the first training we did was on the member interest form. And with every training that we do, there is a PDF form that you will find there. And on that PDF form are the links to any Excel spreadsheets or documents or Google Forms or whatever it is that we spoke about is on that PDF, and it's called something like training outline and links. So whatever file you click in, always look for the training outline and links document so that you can quickly gain access to whatever it is that you want to. And please remember that anything that you get resources to, don't use them. Download them for yourself or copy them so that you can then use the copy. Okay, please just all remember to do that. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Brandy, can I add something?
Yes.
Bongani, I also want to challenge you, but I understand that you're wanting to be the leader in charge here. Part of our role as president is to trust and to delegate to our fellow club officers. And so I'm challenging you to make sure that you get your VPE to get themselves up to speed and to be part of this group and to be doing that work, and you're overseeing it, not doing it. And we've also got all this training, club officer training, that's going to be happening between now and the middle of August. So ensure that all of your club officers, all 7, attend that training so that they know what they need to do and can get themselves up to speed quickly.
Challenge accepted. Thank you.
Okay. Layla had a question, Granny B.
Yes, I'm on to her next. I just want to finish quickly, also add something there to Bongani and say, Bongani, in those folders, when you have a look at it, there's a lot of other resources. So once you're happy and you found all your resources, you're welcome to exit. If you just don't want to be inundated with all the other messages that go with it. However, please make sure that your VPE is there so that if in future there's something else that's relevant to presidents, I will always tell the VPEs, please invite your presidents or please invite the VPPRs or whoever it is that might coincide and work with whatever it it is that we're busy doing. Thank you. Then Leah, you are next. Please go for it.
Hello, yes, thank you very much. I just wanted to find out, once the form is completed, is there a time where, because you kept on talking about the area director, it's submitted to the area director, is it then the responsibility of the area director, like maybe, I don't know, after 6 months or at the end of the year to come back and see whether the goals were achieved or not? Or are we just completing this document maybe just for the club's sake? In a sense, I just want clarification on that.
An excellent question. Let's clarify that. So this is your starting document, where you're starting from. And from there on, when you have meetings, remember to be able to achieve those DCP goals. Oh, I just see the time. So if anybody needs to go, there's no problem. We did say that it's from 1/4 to 1/4 but I always linger longer to be able to help any additional questions that are there. So if you need to go, it is fine. But here, sorry, Leah, I continue with answering the question. So what happens then is after you have compiled this report, it is the job of every EXCO member. When you have your monthly EXCO meetings, now, please don't just stick to a monthly EXCO meeting. If you are busy planning something, you probably need to meet weekly to get that planning thing sorted out. But when you have your monthly planning meetings, that's a club success plan, is what each one of the EXCO needs to report back on again and say, this is the reality that has taken place so far. And for next month, when we get together, this is what I project we'll be able to do. So they must tell you, what have I done? And what am I going to do until we meet again? So that becomes a thing that everybody has to revisit their portion and to take it further. Does that make it clear, Leah?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Great. Right. Any other questions, or have we saturated and answered all the questions? Great. Then.
No, I have a question.
Yes.
It's really, it's something that I have been asking for a long time because I have a challenge with my cell phone or something. Can't you email me that PDF with all the links, please? Because I work better with my computer than with my cell phone.
Okay. Now, Sylvester, I hear you on that. And it is not, here is not the platform for me to be able to take it in length. But I'm going to just quickly ask you a question here. Have you ever on your PC used WhatsApp desktop? Just answer that question. And would you know what I'm talking about?
I know what it is, but I have, unless if I buy another cell phone, when I try to connect my WhatsApp with my computer, it doesn't work. It used to work. It's a new computer, but my phone is older.
Okay, so then for the sake of everybody else, Sylvester, would you please, are you on the VPE group? Number one question.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, then you will be able to send me a private direct message and you and I can take this further separately, because it is a different kind of problem than a VPE problem. And I would gladly like to help you with that.
Thank you. I asked it because I thought we were finished, but thank you.
Great, we do that, we do that. Yes, I've done that.
Pepe's got a question.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I'm Ditevia from Pretoria Public Speakers. I want to find out, there is a survey form that has been shared on Google Drive, which is a form.
Sorry, just repeat the question. I'm not sure what form you're talking about.
Survey form, Granny B.
There's a survey form on Google Drive.
Yes.
And there's also a PDF, which is a member's interest survey. Are those two the same thing?
When I did the presentation, I shared with you that the PDFs are what Toastmasters International put together. But for me to be able to handle all the questions and to see it in terms of the club together, it just makes it easier for me to use the Google Forms. Once you have a look at it, you're welcome to use my Google form that I created, because I created it from the years that I've worked with it and what I find helpful. You are welcome to add questions or change questions on the Google form to make it work for you. And you can make it exactly the way it is on the PDF of Toastmasters International. So I've given you all the resources so that you can do it. I even gave the Excel spreadsheet because some people use Easy Speak. And I did that because if you want to change some of the questions on Easy Speak, it helps having it in the Excel spreadsheet so that you can upload it accordingly from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, any other questions? Or have we saturated it for today? Great. Then I would like to just say that our next training will, of course, be next week, Friday. Once this training is finished, I normally have to just wait for Zoom to convert the training, and then I upload it to a platform so that I can just give you the link afterwards. It does take a little while, but the moment it is done, I will let you know in the VPE group that it is ready for you to collect. And the PDF with the outline and links will also be in there, and you will be able to have whatever it is you need. And if you struggle to find it, just voice and we will put you the guidance in there. And then with that, I would like to say, Karen, thank you so much for your input today and for your part in helping us grow the VPEs together. And to the rest of you that are out there, have a wonderful weekend. And I do hope you get everything sorted out. But remember, ask questions on the VPE group. We really want to help you to shine, and we'll give you whatever it is it's possible that we can help you with. So with that, from me to all of you, have a fabulous weekend. Thank you for attending the training. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. And for those of you attending Club Officer training tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for a great meeting.
Great. Bye.
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 So you can
Bye.
stop
Thank you,
recording now,
meeting.
Granny B.
True, true, true. Thank you.